What's going on? Welcome back to another What Would You Think video. It's me, Alvan, and I guess it's kind of tradition for the channel where I kind of just review the latest Disney Plus Star Wars show. And today we're going to be talking about The Acolyte. I just finished watching the last episode of the season. I'm going to give my quick, brief thoughts on the whole season as, it just came out. Overall, I will say this. I enjoyed this season. I would give it about a 7 out of 10. Going into it, I was not too excited for the show, just because, in my opinion, all the Disney Plus stuff that has been coming out for Star Wars has just been kind of middling and kind of going downhill, at least for me. I wasn't a big fan of Ahsoka, I wasn't a big fan of Mando Season 3. Book of Boba Fett is garbage. Andor still remains the best of the best, so it's kind of hard when new stuff comes out and you're just constantly comparing it to the gold standard. The pros, for me, the two leads, Lee Jung-jae and Manny Jacinto, they honestly carried the whole show for me. They were the only reason why I kept watching it. If it wasn't for them, I would have dropped this show after like week 1. And the next pro is the action. I would say the hand-to-hand combat and the lightsaber fights were a step above. These were probably the best fights in the TV shows. I think Ahsoka was weird and the lightsaber combat was like very choppy. Obi-Wan was pretty good, but I think the Acolyte steps it up to a whole other level. The cons, there were a lot of cons for me. I would say the writing and the dialogue just didn't really hook me. It didn't keep me engaged, and to be completely honest, the first half of the season, the first 4 episodes, I thought were really boring, and honestly, some parts of the later half, like it felt very inconsistent, where there were really high highs in terms of things actually getting rolling, but also there were really low lows. Like putting a flashback episode in between episodes 2 and 4 felt very odd to me, and then having the other flashback as episode 7 before the finale, it kind of takes you out of the pacing a little bit. And also the pacing, it just kind of didn't keep me engaged. The twin aspect was cool and interesting at first when they revealed it, because I liked how they didn't drag it on and how it was a mainstay of the whole season. But I think Amandla Stenberg, she was okay. I really enjoyed her. She's a great actress in my opinion, but I think she just couldn't sell the dialogue, and a lot of her delivery just felt very like low toned, eyebrows furrowed, kind of just talking like this, very low voice. And it felt like Cersei in Eternals, where the main character in the show or the movie is actually the most boring, and every other character surrounding was just infinitely more interesting, and I would have rather had the story be about them rather than have this character be the window in. It felt like this show was meant to be binged rather than seen week to week, because to be honest, I fell off after episode 5, after the big action episode. I just didn't really feel compelled to get back into it straight away. So tonight, when the finale aired, I just binged episodes 6, 7, and 8 back to back to back. And I think that really helped with the pacing a lot, because you can kind of just go into the next episode straight away rather than having to wait that week long. And I know this was a complaint other people had online, that it kind of just ended very abruptly. And I think waiting to binge it alleviates that complaint a bit. However, with all that being said, I actually think this finale stuck the landing. I thought it was actually really good and one of the better episodes of the season. And I will say that if this gets renewed for season 2, it will probably be my second most anticipated second season of the batch of shows that came out so far. For me, number 1, it goes Andor season 2. That is my most anticipated Star Wars project. Next, it probably goes Acolyte, and then anything else, Mando season 4, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, whatever, they're all at the bottom. So yeah, I would say it stuck the landing. I'm very interested to see all the reveals that they dropped here come to fruition in season 2. I guess spoiler alert, I loved how now it's Osha and the stranger Chimere. They're a pair, and I liked how they wiped May's mind. That was really good. And I like how it was revealed that Vernestra was Chimere's master. that Darth Plagueis tease was really cool, and the Yoda cameo at the end, it got me. I don't want to be that Star Wars fan where if I see something familiar, I kind of geek out, but it got me, I will say. So I would give the Acolyte overall a 7 out of 10. And I guess my final thoughts is just, as much as I like Star Wars week to week at my home, I really do miss watching Star Wars on the big screen. So I just, it doesn't hit the same, but I'm glad about all the content coming out. And if this show wasn't for you, I'm sorry about that, but you can kind of just move on and wait for the next one. And I think that's the cool thing about the influx of shows coming out right now, where if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine, because you can just there's gonna be something that is yours. All right, guys, peace.